Everybody, welcome back to Historicalish. This is episode 9 of the Ancient Mysteries, volume 2. Let's jump right in. Number 1, the Lost City of Giants in Ecuador. In the uncharted rainforest of Ecuador, there have always been legends that circulate about this lost city of giants. The site is said to be nestled deep within the Ecuadorian Amazon, one of the world's most biodiverse and dense rainforests. Due to the thick vegetation and the challenging terrain within the rainforest, the vast areas of this forest remain unexplored, which offers the possibility of some undiscovered ancient sites. Local legends of ancient cities hidden in the forest have persisted for generations, and there is one specific site labeled as the Lost City of Giants. It was reportedly stumbled upon by explorers trekking through the jungle who were captivated by these local tales and went out in search for it. The standout features of the site are its purported megalithic-style constructions. Explorers reported observing a series of large stone structures, including pyramids. One of these is described as a 79-meter-tall pyramid-like formation, almost completely covered by vegetation, moss, and soil. Adding to the site's mystique, oversized and unusually shaped tools and artifacts were supposedly found. Their size fueled speculation about the so-called giants and whether these tools were tailored for their specific use. The central question, if one accepts the premise of man-made structures, revolves around the identity of the builders. Were they a previously unknown ancient civilization? The size of the reported structures and artifacts has, perhaps expectedly, led to wild speculations and theories, including those about giants, a narrative somewhat supported by indigenous tales. Indigenous communities in Ecuador, and indeed across much of South America, have oral traditions and legends that speak of these giants. These tales often describe them as ancient inhabitants, predating even the oldest known civilizations within the region. Now, while the tales of this lost city of giants has spread across the globe, concrete evidence and thorough scholarly verifications are significantly lacking. Obviously, we don't know whether or not the tales themselves are accurate, and we don't know whether the explorers actually found anything or who the explorers actually are. There have been many tales throughout history of these explorers going into the jungle, finding some sort of lost city, and then coming out and not knowing where it was or something of the sort. Many sites globally were initially believed to be natural formations until further study revealed them to be man-made, and vice versa. So the dense and rugged environment of the Ecuadorian rainforest makes such differentiation even more challenging. So if one of these sites is accurately described to have been found, it would be interesting to see the conclusion made by these archaeologists and historians. Number 2, the Laetoli footprints. Near the Ngora Ngora crater in Tanzania, a trail of ancient footprints preserved in volcanic ash was discovered in Laetoli. While not much, these footprints do offer a glimpse into the evolutionary past and the hominins who walked the earth over 3.5 million years ago. Located in northern Tanzania, Laetoli is a crucial paleontological site. In 1978, under the guidance of the renowned anthropologist Mary Lee Kay, a team unearthed a set of fossilized footprints. These tracks were preserved in volcanic ash from an eruption of the nearby volcano. The soft, wet ash solidified and captured a moment in time as the footprints of several hominids were captured. These footprints are especially significant because they display clear evidence of bipedalism, which is just walking upright on 2 feet. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but this bipedal trait is a hallmark of the hominin evolution. The tracks suggest the presence of at least 2, possibly 3 individuals walking together. They show variations in foot size, indicating different ages or sexes. The prints bear a striking resemblance to modern human footprints, with notable differences in the heel and the sole's shape, reflecting the unique characteristics of these early hominins. Obviously, the main question with this is who left these prints. The primary candidates are members of the species Australopithecus afarensis, the same species as the famous Lucy discovered in Ethiopia. This species lived in East Africa during the period when the footprints were made. The footprints provide strong evidence that bipedalism in hominids arose much earlier than previously thought. Walking on 2 legs is a defining feature distinguishing humans and our direct ancestors from other primates. The footprints, alongside other fossils from Laetoli, provide hints about the environment these early hominins inhabited. It seems to have been a mosaic landscape, a mix of open grassland and patches of forest, indicating that it was a versatile species able to exploit a variety of habitats. What I did find interesting is that once the footprints were exposed, they were reburied to protect them from the elements, and still to this day, plans and discussions about how to best preserve and display them for future generations is ongoing. Obviously, there needs to be some more study about these footprints, but if told to be true, it does, again, push back the timeline of human evolution. Number 3, the Great Riddle of the Seven-Headed Figure. Across various cultures and civilizations, multi-headed figures, including those with 7 heads specifically, have been symbolic in religious, mythological, and cultural contexts. Multi-headed beings appear in various mythologies, often as deities, monsters, or other significant figures. They may symbolize power, knowledge, vigilance, or danger depending on the context in which they appear. You can see them in the Hydra in Greek mythology, to even the multi-headed dragons in Asian folklore, and as you probably know, these beings are universally intriguing across time and location. So in Greek mythology, the Hydra is a water monster with multiple heads. When one head was cut off, 2 or more would grow in its place. Hercules, as one of his 12 labors, was tasked in defeating it. In Hinduism, multi-headed figures are not uncommon. Lord Brahma, the creator god, is depicted with 4 heads, symbolizing his all-seeing nature. Shesha or Ananta is a multi-headed serpent on whom Lord Vishnu reclines. Even in Christianity, in the Book of Revelation, a 7-headed dragon is described, often interpreted as a symbol of evil and chaos. And even Buddhism, I guess, multi-headed and multi-armed figures are not uncommon, often representing various aspects of incarnations of a deity. So the one commonality here is the prevalence of multi-headed figures in diverse cultures separated by time and geography. Scholars have wondered whether these figures emerge from a shared archetype, collective unconscious, or common challenges and themes faced by ancient societies. The meaning and significance of these figures can vary widely, which does make it difficult to pinpoint the exact reason for this shared archetype. For instance, while the Hydra in Greek mythology might represent an ever-growing threat, the multi-headed deities in Hinduism or Buddhism often symbolize the vastness and omnipresence of divine beings. So we do know that these figures do show up across ancient cultures, we just don't know the underlying commonality if there even is one. Number 4, the elephant slabs of Flora Vista. The elephant slabs, sometimes referred to as the Flora Vista elephant slabs as well, are a set of controversial stone artifacts found near Flora Vista, New Mexico. They've attracted attention due to the engravings on them that some believe depict elephants or mastodons, which, if proven accurate, would suggest that humans coexisted with these creatures in North America much more recently than widely accepted. Given that mastodons and mammoths were the elephantine creatures native to North America, some suggest the engravings are representations of these prehistoric animals. The slabs are made of stone, and the depictions on them are etched or carved onto the surface. A crucial question surrounding the elephant slabs is their age and authenticity. If they are genuine artifacts from a time when mastodons or mammoths roamed the North America continent, they could be evidence of human interaction or at least observation of these creatures. However, establishing a precise date for the slabs and their carvings has been challenging. While some observers are convinced the engravings depict elephants or their prehistoric relatives, others believe the images might be symbolic or represent other creatures or patterns. Interpretations often vary based on the viewer's perspectives and preconceptions. If accepted as genuine depictions of mastodons or mammoths, the slabs would challenge established timelines of human habitation and the extinction of these creatures in North America. Such a discovery would have significant implications for our understanding of prehistoric North America. In general, the archaeological community remains divided on the slabs' authenticity and significance. Without more concrete evidence and a clear context of discovery, many experts approach the elephant slabs with skepticism. What would make this even more interesting if more of these slabs were found or any other depictions of these mammoths were found. Number 5, the Despilio tablet. The Despilio tablet is an archaeological artifact discovered in northern Greece that has drawn attention due to its inscriptions, which are believed to be among the oldest forms of written script found in Europe. The tablet was unearthed in 1993 during an excavation in the ancient settlement of Despilio, located near the modern city of Kastoria in northern Greece. The site itself was a Neolithic lakeshore settlement, and the tablet was found preserved in the anaerobic conditions of the lake. It is made of wood, and the Despilio tablet measures approximately 10 by 7 centimeters. What's interesting, though, is that due to its organic nature, it is incredible that the tablet has survived such an extended period of time. The most intriguing feature of the Despilio tablet is the symbols inscribed on it. These characters bear resemblance to various ancient scripts, but don't fit neatly into any known category. Carbon dating places the tablet at around 5260 BC, making it significantly older than the writing systems of the ancient Near East, like cuneiform or hieroglyphs. If the inscriptions on the tablet are genuinely a form of writing, this would push back the emergence of written language in Europe by millennia. Interpreting the symbols has been a challenge. While some believe they represent a rudimentary form of writing or proto-writing, Others contend they might be symbolic or decorative. The symbols on the tablet bear some resemblance to the Vinca symbols associated with the Vinca culture of southeastern Europe. This has led to debates and discussions on possible connections or shared symbolic systems between the two cultures. If the inscriptions are in fact accepted as genuine writing, it challenges prevailing narratives about the origins and spread of literacy. It suggests that ancient Europeans developed systems of written communication independent of and earlier than some of the renowned ancient civilizations of the Near East. Number 6. The Mystery of Herxheim. The Herxheim site, located in southwestern Germany, is a Neolithic archaeological site that has drawn attention due to its unsettling findings. Researchers have discovered evidence suggesting mass cannibalism or ritualistic practices, leading to numerous debates about the nature and reasons behind these activities. Excavations at the Herxheim site began in the late 20th century, with the most significant findings coming to light during the early 2000s. Herxheim was a settlement from the linear pottery culture dating back to around 5000 BC. It appears to have been used for a relatively short period, possibly only a few decades. Archaeologists have unearthed the remains of hundreds of individuals at this site. The bones show distinct cut marks, which suggest that the flesh was stripped away, pointing towards possible evidence of cannibalism. The primary debate here surrounding Herxheim is whether the evidence points to straightforward cannibalism for sustenance or a more ritualistic purpose. Some researchers believe that the nature of the remains suggests a ritualistic context, possibly tied to some form of societal collapse or upheaval. The number of individuals found at Herxheim suggests that this wasn't an isolated incident. Estimates suggest the remains of up to 500 individuals, raising questions about where these individuals came from and why so many ended up at this particular site. While evidence of prehistoric cannibalism exists in various locations around the world, the scale and context of the Herxheim findings are relatively unique. This specific site has been the focal point for discussions about the nature of the Neolithic societies in Europe, since this wasn't a known or common thing that happened in this region. Given the site's age and limited context available, definitive conclusions are challenging. Scholars, like other parts of history, must piece together a story from the bones, artifacts, and the settlement's layout, leaving ample room for interpretation and debate. Now, what I find interesting about this is that this is how all history is created. So there should be ample room for interpretation and debate throughout history, which a lot of scholars and archaeologists don't leave that room. Number 7. The Works of the Old Men in the Arabian Desert. The Works of the Old Men refers to a variety of stone structures scattered across the deserts of Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and other parts of the Arabian Peninsula. These structures are usually only fully discernible from the air or satellite imagery and have confused archaeologists due to their age, purpose, and mysterious designs. While Bedouin tribes and local inhabitants have known of these structures for generations, the widespread awareness of these stoneworks came about in the 20th century, particularly with the advent of aerial archaeology and more recently, satellite imagery. These ancient constructions include kites, wheels, pendants, and meandering walls. They vary in size and complexity, with some extending several hundred meters. Based on pottery finds and other archaeological evidence, some of these structures date back to at least 2,000 years ago, if not older. They span different eras, from the prehistoric to the early Islamic period. The exact purpose of these structures remain a subject of debate. The kites are believed to have been used for hunting, funneling animals into kill zones. However, the functions of the other formations, like the wheels, remained less clear. The works of the old men span a vast region and time frame, suggesting that they were the work of different cultures and civilizations over the millennia. However, understanding the specific culture or ritual significance behind each structure is challenging due to the sparse historical records from this region during the periods in question. The remote nature of many of these sites has left them relatively untouched for centuries. The vast and often inhospitable stretches of the Arabian Desert make ground exploration challenging. Now, like I have talked about this in a previous episode, it is interesting to think of what the Arabian Desert was like when these cultures were actually inhabiting the region. It probably wasn't as harsh or as difficult to build these structures, but that still doesn't really give us an insight onto what they were actually used for. Number 8, the Ket people's origin. The Ket people are an indigenous group living primarily in the Yenisei River Basin in Siberia, Russia. What is interesting is that they are unique linguistically and genetically. The Ket language is the last surviving member of the Yeniseian language family. It's unrelated to any languages in its vicinity, making it a language isolated within Siberia. Today, the Ket population is small, numbering just over 1,000. They primarily reside in the Krasnoyarsk Krai of Russia. Historically, the Ket were semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers relying heavily on fishing, and they've also been skilled reindeer herders. The Ket's ancestry is mysterious. While they do reside in Siberia, genetic studies have found connections between the Ket people and Native Americans. This has led to theories suggesting a historical migration event across the Bering Land Bridge. The unique Ket language is very interesting. Its isolation from other Siberian languages and some structural similarities to Native American languages have fueled debates about ancient connections between Siberia and the Americas. Now, like I mentioned before, with only several thousand of them existing to this day, the Ket language itself is endangered. There are only a few hundred native speakers within that thousand that are still native speakers, and efforts are being made to document and revitalize the language, but obviously it does face challenges from dominant languages like Russian. Number 9, Liber Lenteus. This is also known as the Lenin Book. It's one of the most unique manuscripts from the ancient world. Not only is it the longest Etruscan text, and one of the few surviving examples of Etruscan literature, but its journey and eventual use are just as mysterious as the language it's written in. As the name suggests, it was written on linen. It consists of multiple strips of linen that were stitched together to create a single manuscript. It was discovered in Egypt, not in the Etruscan homeland of Italy, but it wasn't found as a book. Instead, it was being used as mummy wrappings for an Egyptian mummy, which is now in the Archaeological Museum in Zagreb, Croatia. The text appears to be a liturgical calendar, possibly describing religious rituals. However, due to the limited understanding of the Etruscan language itself, a full translation is not possible. So how did the Etruscan manuscript end up in Egypt? One theory suggests that the linen was traded or sold and then reused. Its journey reveals the complexities of this ancient trade and interaction between different Mediterranean cultures. The reuse of it as wrappings is just as intriguing. It's unknown if the Egyptian embalmers recognized the significance of the text that they were using, or if it was just seen as a material. So the Etruscan civilization was once a major power in Italy, predating the rise of Rome. However, much of the Etruscans remain unknown, primarily because their language hasn't been fully deciphered. But since this is the longest text, it does offer a little bit of hope for understanding this language. So maybe this will be the key to understanding the Etruscan language and all the secrets that it holds. And number 10, mysterious stone structure under Lake Michigan. In 2007, researchers discovered an unusual stone structure located deep beneath the waters of Lake Michigan. While surveying shipwrecks, Mark Hawley, a professor of underwater archaeology at Northwestern Michigan College, and his team stumbled upon the mysterious stone structure. It was discovered using sonar equipment. One of the most intriguing elements within the underwater site is a large stone boulder with what appears to be a carving of a mastodon, an animal believed to have been extinct for over 10,000 years. The structure resembles Stonehenge in its arrangement, with stones appearing to be organized in a circle, which has led to it sometimes being referred to as the underwater Stonehenge. What does this put the Stonehenge count at? Like 8? 9? Given the apparent carving of a mastodon, if authenticated, this could suggest that the site would be at least 10,000 years old. Plus or minus a little bit. I guess the mastodon could essentially be told through generations and then described, but yeah, about 10,000 years old. This would also indicate that the structure was made when the area was dry land prior to being submerged, unless it was aliens that helped them get it under the water with alien ships. So the function of the stone circle is unknown. Some theorize it could have been spiritual or astronomical, similar to the other Stonehenges all over the world. So while some do argue the arrangement of these stones is a result of human activity, others suggest it might just be a natural formation. And this specifically is kind of difficult because the depth and location of the site make further investigations challenging, other than the just generic sonar that they can do from the surface. And some archaeologists just say that it is pareidolia, which is just being a pattern where none exists. So who knows? If anyone wants to go down to the bottom of Lake Michigan with me, let me know. But that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to my patrons, Adam Surgener, Beanfart, Brennan Smith, Christian Samuel, Dates and Dead Guys, Drew Singal, and Jack. I really do appreciate the support that you've given me, and I love that I have a group of people that enjoy my content as much as I enjoy making it. But at the very least, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you in the next one.